Hello, guys. So I'm gonna tell you some tips and tricks for playing Path of Exile 2. It's like uh, my observations while playing this game. So the first thing is, if you see a good item drop, pick it up. Since if you die, it resets. Like it doesn't. Uh, it, you lose all those items. And then the next thing is, if you're fighting a boss or like a mini boss like this one and you can't kill it. Like it seems like, oh, this is a bad affix. It regenerates life, and I can't kill it right now. Like I'm not even dealing. All right, now there we go. If you can't kill it, you can just go back in time. Go back to town and fill up your potions and heal up. It doesn't actually heal the boss if it doesn't have regenerate life. So if the affix is just it doesn't have those, then you can just go back to town, heal up, use fill up your potions, then come back and kill it. I'm not sure if it's a feature or it's current, if it's a feature of the game or they're gonna patch that because it seems like you can abuse that if you're struggling and you run out of mana. I did that to the one of the bosses, like it's in a pit and she summons a bunch of snakes and I can't hit her because I'm like mostly single target. And the next thing, if you're playing in a mouse, make sure you're right click, and if you're moving with a mouse, switch it to move only using this button right here. Because if you have a skill there, um, your character will attack and you'll probably die multiple times for doing that. Then the next thing is to save some gold or and make some gold as well. Once you get the merchant or the hooded man in Act 1, he can actually identify all your items for you for free without consuming any wisdom scrolls. So once you do that, you can either disenchant the item if there's and it tells you what it gets. So this one is for transmutation shards, which I don't need because you'll get a lot of those. Well, just playing the game. But if you need it early on, that's a good way to get some uh, transmutation shards early on. And what it does is it makes a normal item like this flask. So this one's another tip, right? The flasks are like the most important thing for early game because if you're like have problems on getting hit, you're probably gonna lose a lot of life. So what I would like to do is I use one of my transmutation shards. Like let's do this for example for my mana flask, and it gets some abilities right there that tells you yes increased shards charges. That means you can use it 9 times instead of the normal 7 without killing monsters. So if you're fighting a boss, that makes a big difference. And then if you have extra, I would use my orb of augmentation to it too to see what the uh second passive is. And this one is recovery when used in low mana. So once you do that, and if you don't like it, replace it. So like the ones that I keep for my healing potions is usually the increased amount of recovery and either the amount of charges increased or reduce charge cost. But the best thing is to have something that says refills every refills charges every second. Because in a long boss fight, what it actually does is it allows you to gain more charges collectively. So that means if you're not dying in one hit and you're like surviving, you can actually outlast the boss for that fight. This is for like higher acts, like 2 or 3. Some of the bosses have like attack specialties that damage you a lot, like fire or electric. I would look for equipment that has those resistances and equip those before the fight. Um, if you don't have those, that's why I keep most of the resistances in my stash right now. Um, yeah. Then what else? For salvaging, if you need some to increase some quality items, you can salvage them, but you can only salvage items with slots, or if it says superior or like plus quality items. Like right now, I can't salvage any of these. So once you get those, you should definitely do those. The other thing is in the passive tree. Oh, I always pressed the wrong button. Um, you see this slots, so you can find jewel slots that you can put in your armor as well. They started dropping to for me for Act 2. I'm not sure if that's a cutoff or not, but that's the one you can put on those slots right there. And you have to identify them, so they also vary on what can you get. And so I don't even have an extra one to put in here. So same with the normal items. If you only get one slot, one type, you can use the transmutation orbs and the other items to improve them. So there's a lot of items to improve uh, your your skills and deal with the boss. Like you can easily switch. I can easily switch depending on what the situation is. If I want to do more damage, and I just do it here. For unlocking extra slots for your support gems, they started dropping. It is called the Lesser Jeweler uh, Orb, I believe. And what it does is it adds another slot to your. Oh yeah, right here. Lesser Jeweler's Orb. It adds another slot to your gem. I haven't used it yet. Oh, I actually have two right here. I didn't even see it. So, so what that means is it unlocks that other slot right there. Right click, then left click to select a skill gem to apply to it. Okay. So if you have two right there, you can just click it and then it will add another slot, which I will probably do because my main damage right now is coming from arc. So if I do that, it adds another one. Then you can customize your skills a lot more. Most of the skill gems levels are level gated, I believe, or it's even area gated because I'm like I over level and then it doesn't drop until I go to an area where the enemies are around that level or a little bit below. So if you're struggling with a boss, just clear up the area, do all the side quests, then you should have gear, better gear to equip those, to tackle those enemies. Um, yeah, early on, getting a good flask is really good. And I'm even using like lower level gear still on my items because it's just hard to find it, especially for the ring and amulets. Um, yeah, so hopefully that helps you guys. Those are the things that helped me for Act 1. and 2 and 3. The damage, I think it's just your build and items. Once I find a good one, I'll post up a good guide for a chronomancer. Currently, I'm using lightning damage and a little tankiness just to survive the boss fights. But I also have like a solar orb and firewall for my AoE. So when the enemies come close to me, I can, or like stationary enemies and bosses, you can pile up the damage just using those two. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.